as they say, another day, another dollar. Welcome back to another video. Not too sure how this one's going to go, because I've done quite a bit of work on the van, but a lot of it I haven't filmed. So let's see. At least it's nice and sunny. Well, first bit I've done, I've been wiring in the cabling for the DC to DC charger. So that's a new cable that I've put in with a, as per the recommendation for the DC charger, I've put a 60 ampere mega fuse in, and that's a 16mm cable which is rated up to 80 amps I think. So nicely over protected there, which is good. Right, I'm going to leave that. So I ran that cable all the way up the bulkhead there, and it goes across as per normal. The red cable runs across the top and comes out where all the other cabling is going to be. As you can see, let me show you, it's a right old state in here. So I was working on it yesterday and just ran out of steam. So I was doing lots and lots of tape and it's a mess. So I need to clean it all out. So what I was doing over the last couple of days is insulating the bottom panels. So I had lots and lots of scrap left over of the PIR, Celotex, Kingspan, whatever you want to call it. So I taped it all up and stuffed it into the, cut them all to sizes and aluminium taped it all up. It all looks like bags of drugs. It's quite funny. And the same on the other side. What I've done, I've left a gap in the top until I've completely finished. Because if I put a cable running, like I've done on this side, it just leaves me the gap. So I can run the cabling nicely and it's all nice and tight in there and no wobbly, which is all cool. And that's another one I've done. Right, so yeah, there you go. So big mess in little China, as they say. The plan is today, apart from cleaning up the van, is to get these panels back in. So what I've been doing is drilling holes. You can see in that panel bar and over here, drilling holes where the cables are going to run through. So yeah, the panels are quite big, so I can just about manage to manhandle them to get them in the van. So I'll have to clean up the interior of the van because I'm reasonably happy with the insulation now, or the lower part. So I can put the panels in, start lining them up, thread all the cables through and start working out how I'm going to do all the electrics. Then I can show you the inverter I've bought that I'm going to install, and the DC charger that I'm also going to install. Okay. Right, an update. I either had to cut these beams down to 150 or leave them, but I've decided to leave the beams at 200 centimetres because should I sell the van to a person who's 6 foot, that means that they can have the bed the other way and utilise the metal suspension rails. So what I've done, I've put some more furniture nuts through, and I've got 3 more towards the end, so that's all good. I was going to glue the back because obviously once I put this up, if those nuts spin and don't tighten up or come loose, it's going to be a real pain. So I'm going to order some Loctite, and I'll wait until that arrives, put the Loctite, hopefully tomorrow, put the Loctite on, and then I can actually put these into both of them. The other one's there, that one's done as well. I can put them into the van and get it sorted. You can see here how they look from the rear. Ta-da! Sorry, that's not a good angle. There you go. So they're just the furniture nuts. Just in case anybody wanted an update, but there you go. Van is hoovered out, cleaned. I'm going to reuse the boxes that came with the van that go over the wheel arches. They are very, very, very sturdy, heavy wood, or ply laminated wood, so it would be silly not to use them really. So I made them both up the other day, and as you can see, the van is now clean, hurrah! And there's all my stash of cocaine boxes, man. I am joking. So all the cables in there, so when the Loctite arrives tomorrow, I can put the panel in. Then start measuring it up, so I can start fitting all the electrics here. And do the same with the other side. So I've insulated all along there as well. Looks a bit patchy at the bottom just because it's the remnants of the PIR Celotex, but I think I've said that before. So I wasn't going to go out and spend another £50 just to make it look dapper like the top ones are. So I'd rather recycle and make all the bits up. I've left holes across the top because if I run cabling, that's going to be my cabling rat run across the top. So that's why, as per that one, that's why I've got a gap going across the tops. Well, good morning everybody. As you can see, I should say, it is a little bit wet outside. Not too sure in what context this videos or this caption is going to be posted, but I'm going to film it anyway and I'll slip it in somewhere. Haha, that's what she said. Anyway, but there, I thought I'd show you this. This is my, I think it's called a rat's tail, and all it is some gardening wire, you know, the stuff you hold up for plants, and I twisted two together, just put it on a door handle and just keep turning it, put an electric drill on the end, and you end up with this. Now the purpose of this is that if you have a run and you need to get a cable down a panel, all I do, I put the end of the cable here, tape it to the end, then you keep this, put a couple of pieces of tapers down so it keeps the whole thing reasonably stiff along there. Then you start threading through, and to date every single time it's worked in the van, so fantastic. You can actually buy these as a tool. I don't know how much they go for, 20 quid or something like that, depending on how Gucci you want yours to be, but this cost me bugger all. So yeah, so good little tool, good little tip. So you don't have to go out and buy expensive tools. You just need to use your intelligence and figure it out some other way. Last night I broke out the PVA glue to glue this seam, which is the back panel. The panel was under pressure, so there is a bit of a bow there, but I put some glue in. Obviously first time I've done this, and the glue's marked the wood on the outside, but hopefully that'll clean off. Should be covering it anyway, but you can see there's just a bit of a lip there, but it's the best I can do with the tools that I have. So it's not brilliant, but it's certainly good enough, as they say, for government work. And all I used was PVA glue. Hold on, let's find it for you. Which is this stuff here. So I just used that glue. Worked really, really well. Another Amazon special. Put it on last night, and I took the clamps off this morning and gave it a wiggle. Man, it's really sturdy. I don't know how it's going to, you're supposed to give it 30 minutes to cure, then they say don't put it under stress for 24 hours, which is not going to be the case, because hopefully today the Loctite's going to turn up, so I can start unthreading all these bolts and put a dollop of Loctite on, so these things don't work loose under any condition. The other thing as well, you get different types of Loctite, but when the Loctite turns up, I'll go through that and I'll show you which one I selected. So in the interim, I'm not going to carry the wood out, because not if it's raining, but the rain's stopped, whoop whoop. But in the interim, I am going to make myself a drink. Then I'll crack on for the day. Well, Loctite arrived. It got dark by the time I didn't do any filming, couldn't really show you anything. So it's now the following morning, hence busy rush hour traffic. Oh God, it's locked. Come on, you, open up. There you go. Right, I did one panel. I did that side with the Loctite, and here it is. It's a Loctite 242. They do lots of different Loctites, but the main ones people use, from what I can gather, for these kind of installations is either 242 or there's another one called 243. And apparently 243 is a modern version of this one, and it has slightly better resistance for oils. So I assume when people want to Loctite machine bolts or machines that are doing dirty work. So for my purpose, 242 is fantastic. So that should be more than adequate. They also do ones that I think there's a red version. So when you look at these, there'll be one with red on it instead of blue, and those are like almost like a permanent lock. With the blue ones, you're supposed to be able to crack the nuts and bolts off with tools, hand tools, I assume. But with the red one, it's a more of a permanent issue, as I understand it. So again, for my purpose, this is perfect. So yeah, I would show you me doing it, but to say it's laborious and you're not exactly missing anything. All I'm doing is unthreading these, taking it about, putting a dollop of Loctite glue on it and screwing it back in. So that side's all done. I need to go and find my tools and crack on with the rest of it. Well, shock, horror and awe, boys and girls, it's a little bit chilly this morning, so I want to crack on with getting the other panel done, but I had to nip into the house and do this. Yes, I am wearing a jumper. So yeah, it's a little bit chilly. I thought we'd just take a quick time out to actually show you some of the tools I've got, because I haven't really covered that at all. Prior to building this van, I didn't have any at all, practically. So I literally bought myself a brand new set, and part of it wasn't with the intent for the van, it was just a case of general maintenance. And I had other aspirations of motorbiking. So I actually bought these kits because they're really good, from a German company, I believe, called Wira, because everything folds up. So, demonstration. So I bought 2 socket sets, one for obviously larger items like wheel nuts and bigger nuts, and one for more little dainty stuff, but really good kits. So very, very handy. I never thought I'd be using them at the same time, which is what I'm doing currently for the side panel, but there you go. So it has become handy, and these little bits just toggle on and off. I like it because it's all color coded. And look, I haven't lost the 10mm. If anybody knows the stories behind 10mm, still got both of them. So yeah, good kit. Also bought an additional extension bar for that one. I did have one for that, but some chap broke down and borrowed it and returned it, snapped. So hence I'm only got one long bar on that one. But yeah, very chuffed with these tools, really good quality, and they pack up really nicely as well. So they're not the cheapest on the market, but I'm a great believer you get what you pay for, and with tools it's worth spending a little bit of money to actually get something worth having. Because generally I don't know about a lot of people, but generally when I buy something, I keep it for a long, long time. So, yeah, there you have it. Good morning. Well, it's going to be a video of snippets this week, but I'll do a bit more recording, so I'll show you where I am. The weather's gone, definitely turned for the winter. So it's the 1st of October, if I remember correctly today. And I've just been messing around inside the van. Just trying to figure out some problems. I put the rear panels back up the other day, and the panels around the corner here were all touching the rubber. So they're going to be covered, but what I've done, I've cut back the panels a bit. So I've got a gap running down the side, so if I do put material over it, at least it's not right up butting up against the rubber. Put one of the speakers in, that's just a dry fit. Again, the panel was a bit damaged, but it's going to be covered, so I can live with that. And done the speaker housing for the other side. I'm going to put some deadening on the back of the panel as well, to make sure this doesn't become an acoustic drum. The other part I've been working on is getting these two panels to level. Now this panel on this side isn't an issue because it's just one solid long panel all the way down. That I will fix at a later point. It's under tension, so that's fine for now. But on this side, you can see the fit's a lot better. Runs all the way along. So when it gets to this part here, because the floor, I'm using the original old floor, and these tension points actually buckle the floor in. So it's not a lot I can do about it, just because it's got insulation under the recent. It's just one of the results of doing that. Because ideally I could have done with that buckle point, that buckle point about there, so it flattens out the floor. But you can see from there, hopefully you can see the gap. This is all going to be behind stuff. So what I've done, I've got some aluminium right angles that the boards are sitting on, and I've put some wedges underneath. I am going to put a flooring over the top of this. So the whole purpose of that wedge, and to get it to level, is so I have that. So to get it nice and level, I'm about 1/2 mil off, but that's pretty close. So when I actually start building all the top part here, it's all going to be nice and straight, because otherwise, you know what they say, if you don't get the foundation right, you're just going to have a problem a bit further down the road. What I think I'm going to do, and also I started sort of planning out a bit of the kitchen area with ideas. I'm not 100% settled that I'm going to have the kitchen coming out as most people do from the door. My idea initially was I'm going to use just a simple setup system with a sink above, and have a submersible pump with one's clean and one's dirty water, and also have it so it's accessed from that side, so when I want to change it, it's really easy to do. Rather than opening cupboards and dragging stuff out the van, I just open the door and then just pull the bottles out. Nice and easy. But, you know, I'm not 100% settled on that idea. I was looking at seat options, whether or not to change the double to a single. Or put a swiveling base. The problem with a lot of the swiveling base, the price of them, they're not cheap. And what it does, because it's two solid plates that swivel on a pivot, it blocks, you can't get inside to the box. And as I've got items in there, all that storage space, you can use it for putting leisure batteries in and whatnot, and stuff you're not going to use. But if you want to use it as storage space you can get your hands on, it blocks it all in. You can get a swivel base that does tilt, but to say it's not cheap is an understatement. So it almost looks cheaper to track down a single base and put a single seat there and put a single swivel on it. to do something like that. So because I do like the idea of having 2 single seats at the front as well. Right, and here we are at the end of the video. I did mention I'll show you some of the items I bought earlier on in one of the captions. That's to be installed with the electrics, and this is what I'm going for. I'm going for Victron Energy. I have opted for the DC chargers 30 amps and a pure sine wave inverter of 500 amps. So those 2 at some point will be installed, so really looking forward to that. And yeah, should hopefully make a bit of difference, bit of quality gear. Never goes amiss. Right, I'm going to end this week's recording now, so I can get this all edited and uploaded, so hopefully I can get it up for today, being the 1st of October, or get it up for tomorrow. Haha, that's what she said. So crass, there you go. Old jokes, huh? Okay, right, I hope you've enjoyed, and to those who've managed to get to the end of this video, as all the cool kids go, thanks for watching.